Have you ever heard a story that sends a chill down your spine? One that makes you question the very fabric of reality? Well, gather round, because today I'm going to tell you a tale from the sun-drenched hills of California. A story that proves even the brightest places can hide the darkest secrets. This is the legend of the cursed bride. Our story begins in the late 19th century, in a small, prosperous town nestled in a Californian valley. The town was buzzing with excitement for the wedding of the year. A beautiful young woman named Elara, known for her kindness and radiant smile, was set to marry a wealthy landowner named Julian. It was supposed to be a fairy tale. Elara had a gown of the finest lace, and Julian had a ring that sparkled like the morning sun. Everyone agreed they were the perfect couple, but not everyone was celebrating. There was another woman in town, a reclusive figure named Serafina. People whispered about her, calling her a witch. She lived on the outskirts of town, her cottage shrouded in gnarled trees and overgrown ivy. Serafina had also loved Julian, a secret, desperate love she had nurtured for years. When she heard of his engagement to Elara, her heart didn't just break. It shattered into a million pieces of pure jealousy and rage. On the eve of the wedding, as Elara was admiring her reflection in the mirror, a chilling wind swept through her room, extinguishing all the candles. In the sudden darkness, a voice, cold as the grave, whispered, "What is rightfully mine, you shall never have. Your joy will turn to ash, and your love will be your tomb." Elara screamed, but when her family rushed in, the room was empty, the air still, and only the scent of withered roses remained. They dismissed it as pre-wedding jitters, a bad dream. If only they had known. The wedding day dawned bright and clear. The church was filled with flowers and smiling faces. Julian stood at the altar, his eyes fixed on the entrance, waiting for his bride. When Elara appeared, a collective gasp went through the congregation. She was breathtaking, but as she walked down the aisle, a shadow seemed to follow her. Her smile seemed fragile, her eyes wide with a fear no one else could see. As Elara reached the altar and took Julian's hands, the church doors slammed shut with a deafening bang. The sunny day was suddenly plunged into an eerie twilight. Panic erupted. People scrambled for the doors, but they wouldn't budge. They were trapped. Then, a figure emerged from the shadows at the back of the church. It was Serafina, her eyes burning with an unholy light. She pointed a crooked finger at Elara and began to chant in a language that twisted the air. Elara cried out, her beautiful white gown beginning to fray and turn a ghastly shade of grey. The delicate lace turned into what looked like spiderwebs, and the fresh flowers in her hair wilted and died, crumbling into dust. Her skin grew pale, her eyes hollow, and her joyful expression was replaced by one of eternal sorrow. Julian, horrified, tried to shield her, but an unseen force threw him back. "She is mine now," Serafina cackled, her voice echoing through the silent church. "She will be a bride forever, but never a wife. She will wander this land, searching for the love she stole, a love she can never have." With a final, terrifying shriek, Serafina vanished into thin air, and with her, the enchanted darkness lifted. The church doors flew open, and the sunlight streamed back in. But it was too late. Elara was gone. Not just her body, but every trace of her. The wedding dress lay in a heap of dust and decay on the floor, and the diamond ring had turned to coal. Julian was left standing at the altar, a broken man. The town was never the same. A cloud of fear and sadness settled over it, a permanent reminder of the wedding that turned into a nightmare. From that day forward, the legend of the cursed bride was born. They say Elara's sorrowful spirit is forever bound to that Californian valley. Locals and travelers have reported seeing a ghostly figure in a tattered wedding gown, wandering the winding roads and moonlit hills, especially near the old, abandoned church. She doesn't seek to harm anyone. She's just eternally searching, her ghostly form a whisper on the wind. One of the most famous accounts comes from the 1950s. A young couple, driving home late one night after a movie, had to take a detour down an old country road. Their car sputtered and died right in front of the ruins of the old church. As the young man, let's call him Tom, got out to check the engine, his girlfriend, Sarah, saw something that made her blood run cold. A faint, luminous figure was gliding from the crumbling church archway towards their car. It was a woman in a wedding dress, but the dress was torn and dirty, and she seemed to float just above the ground. Her face was obscured by a veil, but Sarah could feel an overwhelming wave of sadness coming from her. She didn't scream. She was too frozen with a strange mix of fear and pity. The figure stopped a few feet from the car, lifting a hand as if reaching for something or someone. A soft, mournful sigh seemed to travel on the wind, a sound that Sarah said she would never forget. Just then, Tom managed to get the car started again. It roared to life, and as the headlights flashed on, the ghostly bride simply dissolved into the darkness. They sped away and never looked back. Over the years, many have tried to capture evidence of the cursed bride. Paranormal investigators have spent nights in the ruins of the church, their equipment picking up strange electronic voice, phenomenant whispers of a name, Julian, and cold spots that move through the empty space where the altar once stood. Some have even claimed to capture a fleeting image on camera, a translucent white shape, forever walking that lonely aisle. The legend serves as a cautionary tale in the region. It's a story told around campfires, a warning about the destructive power of jealousy and the idea that some wounds are so deep they can echo through time. The locals respect the legend. They don't venture near the church ruins after dark, and if they see a strange mist on the road, they say a quiet prayer for the lost soul of Elara. They say her curse can only be broken if her true love, S-ring, is found and placed on her spectral finger. But Julian, heartbroken, was said to have thrown the blackened ring into the deepest part of the local river, where it was lost forever. And so Elara continues her search, a beautiful, tragic phantom bound to the place where her happiness was stolen. So, if you ever find yourself driving through the rolling hills of California on a quiet, moonlit night, and you see a flicker of white on the side of the road, think of Elara, think of the cursed bride. forever searching for a love that was lost to a dark and terrible curse. It's a chilling reminder that some love stories don't have a happy ending. What do you guys think? Is it just a local folktale, or is the heartbroken spirit of Elara still wandering those hills? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I love reading your theories and your own local ghost stories. Thanks so much for hanging out with me and listening to this spooky tale. If you enjoyed it, please hit that like button and subscribe for more stories from the shadows. Stay curious, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.